I say no Biafra, no freedom. Sit at home, sit at home. Sit at home. Sit at home.
This was a horrific incident, really. Our security forces, there were vigilantes that were killed. Unacceptable, really. And we call on the state governor as well. He's supposed to be the chief security officer of the state. I mean, this sit-at-home menace in Anambra State needs to be...
This channel not only feed your eyes with good movies, we also bring you the hottest and the newest trend around the globe. My darlings, sit tight and enjoy this one.
Joining us now is Ojinika Ojiogbe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinik.
I thought the Monday introduction was more special. What happened to you today? I know why. It's International Men's Day. Happy International Men's Day.
See, we're even wearing blue because blue, you know.
Yes, I mean... It's a dark blue. Relax, Rufai. She said blue, so that's what she means. Well, happy International Men's Day. Men are to be celebrated as always.
With implications.
With implications to all the men. All the men.
And I know that Ojinika is capable.
I'll celebrate you guys. Yesterday, this morning you were telling me that I was not celebrating my dear family friend, Luca Olandi, who is manager for Ugochukwu Olandi, that's his name. A lot of people were asking, but that's his stage name. His name is Ugochukwu. But obviously, he is phenomenal. Luca Olandi, I give most of the credit to him because he actually started this boy at a very young age and pushed him
That's his father.
That's his father. Luca Olandi is his father. And again, point of correction, Dr. Abati, I was celebrating Ugo, not women. Ugo, my son, not women. So there was no point that I needed to correct.
Today you are celebrating the father.
I'm celebrating the father today because he's done
Day
absolutely remarkable work. And again, they're married, 20 years of marriage. Because I saw some comments, are they married? What's happening? So Ugochukwu Olandi is doing phenomenal because credit to his father, the manager. Men are to be praised again.
Men at work.
Men at work. What?
We are not celebrating, man. You do the implication for
No,
men.
you know I'm up to the task as always.
Yeah.
I'm up to the task as always. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And happy International Men's Day.
Our Zimbabwe wife is also speaking Yoruba.
You will hear the bell of joy very soon. In Jesus' name.
Fantastic.
Amen.
You will hear the bell of joy. The bell of joy.
And this is the fun part of the show, really. Happy International Men's Day to all our male viewers and all the husbands who have been, a strong backbone to our women as well. Happy International Men's Day to also the brothers that have supported their sisters and fathers who have supported their daughters, as well as vice versa. Happy International Men's Day to all our viewers. Well, let's begin what's trending. With reactions trailing the announcement made by the special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who stated in a post on X on Monday that the president has redesignated the position of Sunday Dare from Special Advisor on Public Communication and National Orientation to the Special Advisor on Media and Public Communications. Onanuga also stated that Daniel Buala, who was announced last week as a Special Advisor on Media and Public Communication, will now function as a Special Advisor on Policy Communication, adding that the appointments, along with his existing role as Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, underscore that there is no single individual spokesperson for the president. Well, all right. But however, Daniel Buala announced himself as presidential spokesman in a tweet on Monday, and I'll read the tweet. He wrote on X, "I resumed officially as a Special Advisor, Media and Public Communications spokesperson, State House. I am happy to have joined a meeting of the robust and fantastic communication team of Mr. President. I love the existing unity among the team and hope we can leverage on that even for more synergy." Daniel Buala further wrote in another tweet, and I'll read that tweet. He wrote, "Today, I equally had a brief chat with the press corps in the State House where I encouraged everyone to work in synergy without fear or favor. As a spokesperson, To President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, I promise to work with every member of the team to advance the cause of our principal, Mr. President. And this is his address, and he actually said that he replaced Ajuri Ngilali's role. Let's take a listen to Daniel Bwala.
I am not here to define the responsibility of anybody other than myself, because it will amount to gaslighting anybody. I only came to introduce myself to you and the role that is given to me by Mr. President. And I told you that role was once occupied by Ajuri Ngilali. So whatever understanding you have of the role that he occupied before, that is what it goes. In law, they call it res ipsa loquito.
For social media users are saying, he don't gas. He don't gas. Cast. He don't cast.
He don't cast.
He don't cast. But seriously, I mean, what is actually going on with the media team at the moment? I mean, it is unbelievable. You said you call yourself the grandfather, right? Is it the grandfather?
This one,
An ancestor.
His picture is there. His picture is there.
Before I come to you, Dr. Basi, but Daniel Bwala, you know he's been trending heavily on social media because they call him this double-sided mouth guy, right? Let's just play this old video pulled up by social media users, a compilation of Daniel Bwala when he criticized the Tinubu administration. Let's take a look.
But let me tell you what they are selling to the Nigerian people, what they call renewed hopelessness. In their renewed hopelessness, what is their economic model?
You call it renewed hopelessness, but they call it renewed hope.
But let me tell you why it is hopeless. This current government is the government of APC. They don't even know. Their entire manifesto is a campaign against the government. And a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. The point I'm trying to make is that the media machine of the president is projecting itself as awful and even worse than the previous administration. Because in the previous administration, they will give the information as it were, but they are not forceful in making the argument. In this one, they are forceful in the communication of misinformation, forceful in their misleading of the Nigerian people. And you often hear them say, we try as much as possible to be honest with Nigeria. Mark what I'm saying, and I'll be happy to come back to your studio. In the next 1 year, you will see nothing from Dubai as per investment. You will see nothing from India as per investment, because they are just photo ops and statements. There are no specificity, there are no deliverables, and there are no timelines.
Well, all right, Daniel Bwala, I believe we're inviting you. I hope you'll be here tomorrow to answer some questions. But, you know, also another video that was trending where he, made a U-turn to say that he has never had any qualms with the APC government. Let's take a look at that video.
I have never been ashamed of APC. I've never had a problem with APC. I've never had a problem even with the president in the first place. You see, it was so fast the time I left APC and I went to PDP. It was so fast that there was no time for me to tender my resignation in APC. Yeah. And when I went into PDP, we really went into campaign. And there was no time for me to register as a member of PDP. So technically, I've never left APC.
Dr. Bati, please help us unpack this violence.
Well, first, from the point of view of strategy,
yes.
Let's talk about strategy first. Again, President Bola Tinubu has shown himself to be master of the game. All the people who were calling him a drug dealer, who were saying that, the Americans were looking for him, who were saying that he didn't have this qualification or not, they have all found their way back to the same President Tinubu to bootleg and to play transactional politics in exchange for something. Daniel Bwala is the one that we have seen today. There are other critics of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu who would at some point or the other also get into the fold. So that's the nature of transactional politics. At this moment, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the owner of the game, with all these people going to bootleg. You don't remember Bwala with the Kokorotinjefo, Inuefo lower.
We highlighted
Now,
that
this Kokorotinjefo is now eating the vegetable, but he has to be careful. One, what President Tinubu has done is to create a multi-spokesperson strategy, an iron dome kind of machinery for public communication. Well, how too many cooks will not spoil the broth, because you have too many people who will be talking from this angle, talking from that angle. They could spoil the broth if specific leadership is not properly defined. You can't have 3 persons speaking for the presidency. There must be a leader, because there are specific assignments that lead man will have to sign off on, not everybody talking across purposes. That's what the presidency tried to address yesterday. I think they have just realized the kind of problem they have created. Now, Daniel Bwala was on television yesterday saying, I've taken over Ajuri in Gelala's office. That office is only available for the leader of the team. And he was saying, I'm the spokesperson and all of that, and that we are all servants of President Tinubu. Daniel Bwala, who used to criticize Tinubu, is now describing himself as a servant. This is the thing about transactional politics that we don't understand. I don't think there's anybody on earth that will call me, Ruben Abati, his servant. But some people are very comfortable with that title. They will say they are servants and they are happy to be servants. But he has just been reminded in the statement issued before he left that TV studio by Mr. Bayo Ononuga that, okay, we have 3 persons who will speak.
Right.
And we were told that he will now be in charge of policy communication, which is just the lower end. He can go to the public and talk about policies. But Mr. Ononuga signing the statement shows that he's the leader of the team. Sunday Dari, whose name was also mentioned, used to be Mr. Ononuga's staff. So, but I think that in days to come, we will get clarity, and President Tinubu himself must avoid confusion, because infighting within the communication process can confuse the public, and we don't need too many cooks that can spoil the broth. Daniel Bwala is my good friend. My advice to him is that he says he's been working on a PhD program in the United Kingdom. Let him not get carried away with this Kokorochinjefo. Let him pay more attention to his PhD program, because he may just find that he's in the midst of a Yoruba Lokan synthesis.
Emi Lokan.
You know, Yoruba Lokan.
I know what you're saying. Go ahead. Rufy.
I have a quotable quote.
Go ahead.
To read to you, all of you. Human brain is unique and miraculous.
This is from... Okay,
wait, now let me finish. Cool down, Farabale.
Go ahead.
Human brain is unique and miraculous. It works and functions optically 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. Until you join the APC, then it stops working. Quotable quote by, can you tell me who quoted it?
I can't even imagine.
Daniel Bwala.
Well, all right.
You see, so one thing is certain.
Never, ever forget.
I'm beginning to hear many discordant tunes. And I'll posit 2 things. And Dr. Abati, yes, you've put that clarity on it. 2 discordant tunes. Number 1, the question is, the message that was released by Mr. Ononuga, was it ratified by the president yesterday? What was the president's schedule like yesterday? How do we now know these positions? Because, you know, it was after people started calling Fela Durotoye out that he even came out to say that he had left that position since March 2024, that he worked for free while he was there. So you have 13 people there. One thing I'll tell Daniel Bwala is there's no how you're going to be cannibalized. 13 people from newspaper, not like this, the media paper boys, and you are in their midst. And when you look at it, you still have the likes of Temitope Ajayi from the newspaper, Oga Rahman from the newspaper there, Sunday Dari, Bayo Ononuga, and the list goes on. Maybe probably Ortega is the only person from the private media. But I'm sure Ortega is more vast and experienced because in the 1 year he's seen, and he is focusing on video now or something, on digital content. So he needs to be careful. Liz is being cannibalized. As I wrap up my point, what I'll also say is this. Dr. Abati, you are correct about the confusion. It's already started.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, Mr. Bayo Ononuga released a reaction to Olusegun Obasanjo. Sunday Dari to release his own.
Yes, and I'll read that. You're absolutely right.
How many reactions were we getting?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of confusion going on.
Too much confusion. But you know, they said there's not one spokesperson. Obviously, there is not one spokesperson. It's different from your time, all right? Is it completely, almost different from your time?
No, if you work in government, you are a spokesperson for the government.
Yeah, so you cannot
in the communications process, there must be a structure.
Right, absolutely.
It's not everybody going to address the State House press corps. You will confuse the team.
Come on, really. Really. Well, all right. Well said, both of you. Bye. stories for you. In another development, the presidency has taken a swipe at former President Olusegun Obasanjo after he described the 2023 general election as a travesty. While speaking during a convocation ceremony at Yale University in the United States last week, Obasanjo had said that Nigeria must appoint new, credible leaders for the Independent National Electoral Commission with short tenure to prevent corruption and re-establish trust in the institution. While the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said that Obasanjo presided over the most fraudulent election in Nigeria's history. His tweet reads in part, "It is hypocrisy writ large when a man who presided over the worst election in Nigeria demands the sack of the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The only positive of the Obasanjo era was fiscal and monetary policy management, buoyed by a consistent rise in crude oil prices throughout his 8-year tenure. The current economic crisis the All Progressives Congress administrations have been battling since 2015 is the product of the poor choices in economic management made by Obasanjo and the two successors from his party." Well, Sunday Dare, the special advisor on public communication and orientation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also criticized Obasanjo, saying that Obasanjo does not have the moral right to censure Tinubu's government and that democracy suffered mortal wounds under his watch. His tweet reads in part, "It is actually laughable that Obasanjo's pretentiousness about fighting corruption is not cutting any ice in the eyes of the general public. We all know what happened under his watch and how up till the present moment there has been no explanation as to how he wasted a whopping $16 billion in generating megawatts of darkness across the nation. But that is not even the issue. Democracy suffered mortal wounds under his watch, only capped by his murderous rage for an ill-fated third term. Successive administrations struggled to clean up the mess Obasanjo left behind, which President Tinubu is now making progress with. Obasanjo has lost."
You're watching Nolly Magic TV. My joy is to keep you updated with the latest gist. And your joy should be subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up, please.
Any moral right to condemn any government, he should apologize to Nigerians for not laying the foundational infrastructure Nigeria needed to advance. Vimbai, earlier I watched you today and I really loved your balanced reportage where you talked about Obasanjo and his wins in the economy. I know that you have interviewed him as well. Well done with a beautiful documentary. I hope we get to play that one day on Arise News. But I mean, some of the comments that have been made here have been adopted by a lot of Nigerians. When you speak to Nigerians, they echo the same rhetoric, the same sentiment. But I do have a graphic of performance of Nigerian presidents from 1999 to 2021 and Nigeria's annual GDP growth rate by these different presidents. And Obasanjo's growth rate was actually quite commendable. 1999, 0.58%, all the way down to, if we can go all the way down to, I believe, 2006, where he goes at 6.6%. Over to you, Vimbai.
You know, Oji, this is such a complex issue because I think there's so many sides to it, right? So I'll try to unpack it bit by bit. But I think in the morning we were all in agreement with regards to former President Obasanjo, is that I think his legacy is extremely divisive in that there were several wins, but then there were also several areas that were lacking.
Yes.
Now, in the instance of just writing him off and saying he doesn't have the moral right and this and so forth. My personal take was that I felt it was a bit of a broad wand because not everything he has done in his career has been bad. Just the same way, there's nobody who is some people are all bad, but there's nobody who is entirely bad. Some people do have a bit of good. And concerning former President Obasanjo, I just highlighted what he has done for the rest of Africa with regards to ensuring that he stood by African countries when they were fighting fighting off colonizers to make sure that Southern Africa, Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe, even South Africa during apartheid were able to gain liberation. And that support also came with financial implications as well. However, having said that, here at home, he has a complicated legacy. Now, I'm glad you brought up the economics behind the legacy, which, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
15.3%.
And that was from the World Bank, yeah.
That was from the World Bank. And the 15.3% GDP, when he achieved that, it was the fastest growth rate in the world in the year that he did that. He did a fantastic job with regards to the economy. So I think the question we should ask ourselves really is, how did Nigerians feel about the economy then, and how do they feel about it now? It's a very telling story. So if, somebody who was able to preside over something of that nature, even with his own misgivings, that means there's something positive to take away from his message, not entirely, abusing him as a person. Now, very lastly as well, with regards to the communication happening, the communications team, multi-pronged, strategy with regards to communication from the presidency. I noticed something when the Prime Minister of India was in town, Narendra Modi. The communication around his visit, he was here for about 48 hours, less than 48 hours. It was seamless. We knew where he was at any given moment. There were pictures, there were edited videos, and then guess what? At some point, Sunday Dare had to go to the Indian government social media to download their content to post.
Some serious gospels.
All I'm saying is I worry about. But all I'm saying is that with this very robust team and multifaceted, pronged approach we're taking, let's just make sure, we're not dropping the ball with the little things.
I love that. Rufai, I want to pull up the picture of the day, though, and if you can pull that up, it is the picture of the then former head of state, obviously, our Olusegun Obasanjo. This is serious steez with the 39th president of the United States, James Jimmy Carter, at the White House in Washington, D.C. in 1977. I mean, it's the Agbada for me, the regalia. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Correct.
And Jimmy Carter is 100 now.
Yes,
and it's one of the. But real quickly, in that report, I quickly want to fact check Mr. Bayo Onanuga. He said the reason Nigeria was growing economically under Obasanjo was because of the high crude oil prices. Mr. Bayo Onanuga, with due respect, I fact check you. No, it's not true. In 1999, crude oil price was $17. 2000, $28. 2001, $24. 2002, $25. 2003, $28. 2004, $38. 2005, $54. 2006, $65. Where's the high crude oil price? People like Buhari it was after Obasanjo left, you started having close to $100 per barrel.
I mean,
when the Ukrainian war started, you have people like Buhari getting high numbers
every instance, all of the information that is put out there by the spokespersons need to be accurate as well as...
The lessons of the assignment is as follows. For people who have been engaged as spokespersons to also realize that former heads of state and presidents, they are members of the Council of State.
Absolutely.
They are also involved in the governance process. Now, you may say the Council of State is in an advisory capacity, but the Constitution is very clear about certain things on which they are invited, by the president to advise them. So when you abuse a former head of state, it's a double-edged sword. Because the same man will come for Council of State meeting, and then the president will have to receive them and be nice to them. And I keep making the point that yes, the principal may ask you, go and abuse him. Who does he think he's talking to? But you must avoid the risk of isolating the sitting president.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, these former presidents, they are still part of the governance process.
Absolutely.
The details, I will hold to myself.
Absolutely.
But it's not as if they are just some imbeciles commenting
but
that you can just abuse anyhow.
Dr. Bati, he was conspicuously absent in the last Council of State meeting. Obasanjo wasn't there.
Well, that may be due to a lot of reasons.
It may be,
but it's just to be
also
careful and to avoid unnecessary volubility.
Right.
It's not every comment you respond to.
Okay.
It may be a large team, and then you are doing like an iron dome, carrying every dome.
Carrying every... But you didn't say anything about the picture of the day. That for me was the steez.
No, President Obasanjo.
That regalia, I
was
really
a man of
steez.
Very elegant.
Oh, come on.
I was admired by all the...
You know, you're
it.
not giving advice as answer. In your time, you were brutal. Maybe you were the one that accompanied the children of damnation.
No,
right,
but,
all right,
but
all right.
I chose my
All right,
targets
all right,
selectively.
all right.
But you target where?
Yeah, but people can criticize me also, but I just
you fired your
I made the point
shooter.
about lesson.
That's it.
One of the lessons
That's
of
it.
the assignment.
Well said,
Just
you guys.
choose your targets carefully.
Well said, you guys. Well said. We'll head over to Anambra
What we
State
know now,
now.
they will start responding to housewives.
Well, all right. We'll head over to Anambra State now, where gunmen enforcing the sit-at-home directive issued by Biafra agitators killed at least 4 people and burnt down vehicles in Dunukofia local government area of the state.
Non-government, man, Nubu attack now. They go non-government. Live in Nubu. Live in Nubu. Go roundabout. Go roundabout. No non-government. I say no Biafra, no freedom. Oh, yeah, sit at home. Sit at home. Sit at home. Sit at home.
This was a horrific incident, really. Our security forces, there were vigilantes that were killed. Unacceptable, really. And we call on the state governor as well. He's supposed to be the chief security officer of the state. I mean, this sit-at-home menace in Anambra State needs to be handled with care, really. May their souls rest in perfect peace. I thought it was important to highlight that story. Well, in another development, Nigerian comedian who goes by the stage name MC Oz has taken to social media to express frustration over the escalating cost of cooking gas in the country. Let's take a look.
Every day in this country they add. Say now 12 kg of gas, so 18,000. As I say, MC Oz to the shots. Also the gas now don't tear past food when they cook. Food go hard person to buy it, or person go still suffer. Buy the food to cook and a problem. What it concern gas with subsidy, what they will green for fuel subsidy. Gas normally a waste product from flaring. Gas now 18,000. How much the minimum wage? The gas they reach 1 month. All of them when they use this country, say they play kalo. Now go there, the thunder from Otoku to to blast all of them. Because it's suffer too much on this country. When good Lord take power, how much the gas? It reaches 1,000 when good Lord take power. They suffer too much for this country. Una want kill us. Una want kill us. Una want kill us. Una want kill us.
He's speaking for every Nigerian
Yes.
going through exactly what he's talking about now, the high cost of gas. He was waiting concern cooking gas with subsidy.
Yeah.
Una want kill us. Bimbai.
You know, earlier, Dr. Abati was saying soon they'll be responding to housewives. Soon they will be responding to housewives, because if the price of cooking gas keeps going like this, housewives are going to start writing think pieces as well about the state of the economy. Because the honest truth is, even I get irritable when I get that phone call that the cooking gas has finished. I get extremely irritable. But let's look at the statistics. Nigeria has the highest gas reserves in Africa. 10th highest gas reserves in the world, yet we're importing gas. So I know a month ago, the minister responsible banned the export of gas in a hope to try and manage the price, because the price is now at about 1,500 per kilogram. But even that, it's been a month and it hasn't had any impact at all. And yes, he's talking about subsidy, but the real thing is actually the exchange rate. Is that, as long as we're importing cooking gas, and we're doing so with dollars, it's always going to sort of follow wherever the exchange rate is going. It's highly unfortunate, but the crazy thing, right, is that only 20%, less than 20% of households in Nigeria actually use cooking gas. The rest are using firewood. That's a shocking statistic, because it actually goes to show you how many people can no longer afford cooking gas. It's less than 20% of households that are still buying cooking gas.
Well
Very
said.
sad.
Really, something's got to give. Really.
Yes, sir.
Now let's highlight Grammy Award nominee Davido, who on Monday announced that he will be donating 300 million naira to orphanages across Nigeria in celebration of his 32nd birthday. Davido made the announcement in a post on X, saying that the money will benefit several orphanages and charities focused on preventing drug abuse and addiction among young people. The initiative marks Davido's continued commitment to giving back to society. In 2021, the singer raised 250 million naira after launching a Twitter fundraiser and donated all the funds to orphanages across the country. In July 2023, Davido also donated the sum of 237 million naira to various orphanages. And in February this year, Davido donated 300 million naira to orphanages in a bid to cushion the effects of the economic hardship. The Afrobeat star has been hailed for his philanthropic efforts by the Coalition of Orphanages and Children's Homes in Nigeria. I mean, Davido, we were all dancing here just now. A lot of you want to feel it out. You have to be an underprivileged child to receive that fund. But congratulations to Davido. He's always been giving. His motto is, we rise by lifting others. And I feel like Nigerians with money should continue to emulate such acts. Congratulations, Davido.
Congrats.
Dr. Vati, I want to take this story in Russia. Can you help us dissect this story in Russia? I wanted to take this last week, but let's take this final story in Russia. The founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, has offered to cover the cost of in vitro fertilization treatment for healthy women under the age of 38 who are willing to have a baby using his sperm. The treatment will be carried out at the Ultra Vita IVF clinic in Moscow. Well, according to Forbes, the clinic described the offer as a very generous contribution to society from one of the most famous and successful entrepreneurs of our time. Durov is reported to have had more than 100 biological children in 12 countries via sperm bank donations. His estimated net worth is $15.5 billion. Dr. Vati, over to you.
Well, I mean, this is still the same context.
Yes.
I think it's all within the context of the good news that you brought about Davido, his philanthropy, his generosity, and the great things that he continues to do on an annual basis. And it's good to see these young people, whether it's Burna Boy or it's DJ Copy, giving back to society.
Absolutely.
But here, in the example of Durov, he is also giving back to society. Benevolence from the waist down. You know, philanthropy of the lower part of the male Homo sapien anatomy. So in this case, he's donating spermatozoa to... No, it's a serious subject. Why are you laughing? To families that may be, you know, having issues with infertility.
Absolutely.
Which is a major problem in the world. Yeah. And he has been at it for the past 15 years. A friend and his wife came to him that they were having difficulties. He donated his sperm and he has fathered over 100 children.
That's the question I want to ask.
In the last,
100 children.
In the last 15 years. Yes. And he says he wants to do more. And all that the women, the families that need free sperm can do is that, you know, they can go to Ultra Vita, which is the agency, the research agency that is involved. But my only fear is Durov may represent an example for other men who may also want to engage in philanthropy below the waist. So,
philanthropy below the waist is also good philanthropy.
But it will raise questions about paternity, about identity, about DNA, and all of that. And hopefully there will be no complications.
All right. Well, in celebration of International Men's Day, Durov is now the father of the world. Basically, he's calling everybody 100 children and counting. Happy
Durov Father Donatus.
Yes. Well, happy International Men's Day. I can see your face. Rufai. Well, all right. I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you for having stayed to the end of this video. You made me really happy. One more thing, click on the notification bell so anytime I video, you will be the first to notify. See you on the next one.